So now I have been telling all these things and thinking I'm not having real recreation today. I didn't have yesterday neither. Well, a little bit of walking and so, but nothing else. I wasn't swimming or something. But it's not necessary. I didn't have such a need right now. It was just more important to me to talk about these things. Well, later I'm probably going to swim a little bit. Even in the unit is good. It's warm, sea, that's all. I can do that or some other exercise. It's just my private monologue diary in my head. Maybe I'm gonna publish this too. I don't know. They are publishing their personal things too. Some other facts would be about me and my psychological insights, or my psychological container would be that I sometimes think and know, and not just think, that people are behaving, some people are behaving like they are much more important than me, or other people they supposedly fucking so much better, and that, well, we all got that opinions about ourselves, I would say, about that, that we are important and so on, and but sometimes it's really forced and stupid too much, stupid too much, just that. Well, at least I'm a man, and I'm thinking, who are these people who are not feeling and thinking and having problems with nothing, and hiding their psychology about shadow of others and think, or they don't exist at all. Another fiction. Just another thing. I just got idea talking about all this. Yeah, in that time which I was accused and wrongly accused and captured for many years, I was telling too that some people on the street, for example, I gave example, they were coming to me and taking piece of my luggage and throw it behind the fence of some house. That was many years ago, and I was reporting that, and later that appeared in a report about my madness, like a proof that I'm mad, because that's supposedly impossible to happen by their opinion, because people are not such and such that would do such things, even whatever, unlaw people who are doing some things against the law, stealing, attacking people, they would never attack me, for example. That's what I'm telling about that, but I was telling what they reported, to be clear, because with them it's never clear. Just another one more thing about that psychiatry, psychology, and their opinions and so on. I'm just in the mood. I was already thinking that many times. Just I'm gonna record right now. The thing is that For example, for them it was in that case like argument that that's impossible to happen. In this case, to me, something like that, and but it's possible that I attacked. This even not proved, but it's not possible that somebody else would do that to me. And how it comes that this is happening every day in the world, and if that would happen to somebody else, for example, would be different thing. Well, by the way, in Constitution of my country is the clause which says that every unlawful things must be proved on the court, and we should be equally before the law, equal. And that wasn't in that case. I can claim that. I can mention that I'm suing them on court. I don't know if it's now on the court. When I was in my town, my city, Ljubljana, it wasn't happening really yet. Even it's already quite a time. I reported that on police station, and they signed me and everything that I'm suing them. So right now I'm in Barcelona. I'm not a home address, but I will get in touch with them through email or something with the court and ask for this. Is something happening? Well, actually, it was summertime right now, so they had justice holidays, summertime, so I wasn't expecting nothing now. So much about that. I'm talking about these things right now too, because in that time they didn't let me on the court to speak for myself. Well, if something like that happens ever again, I will be sure to get everything properly. Well, and I didn't do any mistake to missing something in that time. They just were doing it like that. That's all. They're just reporting everything lawfully, yeah. Just look in the books, everything legally, what I am speaking. Blah. Another completely other thing, how I'm repeating myself, would be I will maybe give to next of my songs the title I See What Are You Trying. Is that copyrighted already? I don't know, maybe I'm gonna put on such way a little change if it's somebody who's already do the same title a little different, so it's not gonna be the same. Ideas are allowed, just not complete copies, yeah? So much about that. So many stories today recorded. I got a lot of stories all my life. Another answer and thinking would be, don't try to be my daddy. Somebody who tries to be my daddy in things I don't need daddy. Whew. Fiction. daddies, well, maybe more from past, but were trying to put themselves daddies on things which they exactly knew that I don't need no daddies or something. Even maybe there were some other things, concepts, welcome, this, but they exactly knew in these cases that wasn't the truth. So much things to consider. Whoever cares about people who say nobody will this and this with him, whoever cares, I got my own battle. Especially not undeveloped or unexperienced people. Here we go with fiction again, yeah? Yeah, I know. What would you like? To behave like they taught you, like they ordered you, and make me silent about this and these things, and be happy that I can tell about something else, and be happy, whatever. Let's make some black parody. To be captured without soul and so on. Like a real best scenario, huh? Hypothetically fictional. One of my funny comments would be, I never said that I'm teenager. Was it somebody mean? A second ago? Just observing the world around and catching the psychological vibrations around and commenting right now. I'm getting means psychologically too when I experience something I don't agree or something. Not just don't agree, it should be something more than just don't agree. Should be something like forcing against my free will or against the truth or something. But I got a feeling that some people are getting mean if they cannot keep you down. Is that a fiction again? Keep you down, like not that you're doing something against them personally, but generally with your own life and your own expression, etc. Just thinking about all these things which are happening in the world, possible and impossible, fictional and unfictional. Fictional because we want to make some stories out from it and showing some point in it. So much about my unconsciousness or something, whatever word would some hypothetical thing say about it. Oh, here I am in Barcelona, near the beach. Not exactly on the beach, but here, relaxing. It's sunny weather, actually partly cloudy, but the sun is shining right at this moment onto us, upon us. What I wanted to say is my recommendations. I was doing some musical production of my song, and I recorded out on the grass fields somewhere with double 3 watts loudspeakers active, plugged in into USB for power in laptop, just trying how it would record and everything. Well, I haven't actually recorded, not so bad, and I corrected a little after with amp simulators in software and so on. It was pretty good, but then as a final result, after all that, I'm not gonna count, it was a little pumping and so on, because I didn't have enough time to make corrections, to check in, because of not having enough electricity at hand to recharge my super cheap laptop. So and I made a little louder everything too, leaving minimum overheads and etc., because I wanted to listen this what I was playing on my Walkman, call it, and I had water in my ears channels because swimming in the sea, and I could hear to just 30% of what I usually hear, and that stays like all day. Well, I swam this last day too, but my hearing was about, maybe if I compare, maybe 60 to 70% of normal after water. I don't know why it changed, but it was so quiet music because of that, so I couldn't check and everything, and very speed up. I noticed after, but I haven't got enough batteries to make corrections and everything. So my recommendation is, besides that, if you go to water and have water in ears, then you must use loud speakers in the room, not cheap headphones on Walkman, etc., to make your production. It's a joke, yeah, but it's a joke, this advice, but but the story is the true story. Anyway, I was rushing with everything because of my situation. With electricity power on my laptop and etc. That's all for now. Or I can add that it's even more exhausting the power, because I plugged in USB plug from loudspeakers to computer to drag the force from there. Sorry that these loudspeakers can drag the force from dragon, from son of the dragon. I said to myself that I have to record more my voice speech again. I'm talking enough loudly every day, just I was little too busy, and I was sparing a little batteries, but not so much to not record a little, but I didn't take my time. I already recorded a lot of things what I was speaking, so it's not urgently. But now I said to myself, I'm gonna go now again and I never said that I'm gonna stop, and I will not. By the way, this will continue whenever I like it. And what I was going to say is, well, now I forgot it. Because it's not important, it's just one idea of something I could use in song or whatever, or in conversation, or text, whatever. So I got thousands of such ideas, of course inspired from everywhere. I'm not inventing the cosmos, as you can know, as I know. No, instead of what I was going to say, I was saying this, and it's exactly good. I'm satisfied with what I just said. And I was saying all this time in this short sound recording. Wind it's a little bit windy, not much, just a little windy here near the beach in Barcelona. Some girls are passing by, some guys passing by, and I'm relaxingly walking near the chairs, public chairs here. My guitar and things are here at the chairs, empty chairs right now. There are 3 chairs together. I was using one for eating my lunch. I bought today salama, подмачу in my language. It's near the road too, so I can look cars and motorcycles and Barcelona city tour buses passing by. Many of them here all the time passing by. I wasn't swimming today because usually I swim a lot here while I'm at this beach. That's why it's the beach for to lay down, to exercise, recreation, and to swim. What I was doing? I was playing guitar on the beach too, just through headphones and so on. Mostly through headphones, just for me. And I was trying to, a few days ago, I was trying to record through loudspeakers on the beach a little cleaner sound to try that MIDI plugin I have, how it's working through speakers, captured through speakers and microphone built-in laptop. It's not a good mic, but I wonder if it's gonna capture good through that, because I used to use that MIDI plugin mostly on through audio interface at home, and how I tried, I didn't even bother to tune guitar. I just tried, and then a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, just to try, and then listen to, I just choose first sound possible, almost one saxophone sound in some MIDI style, and listen this minute or two, and it seems to me okay, it was captured. I'm gonna probably need to, if I'm gonna make some real projects like this, to use more groovy quantize than usually or something, if I want to use with drums and this, because of fact that is a little latency just recording through mic, but it's not so much as I was expecting anyway, neither for MIDI neither for audio. I was expecting much more latency. I could almost play in real time and listen myself, just I didn't from laptop, but I didn't, because I anyway played through loudspeakers, so I listened through loudspeakers and then later listen recording. I tried that on mobile too, not MIDI but audio recording through mic on my Lumia phone, which doesn't have sadly input for jack audio, but just mic input. It has jack for out for headphones, but doesn't have any input, and it doesn't have anything else neither, like USB connection, etc. This Lumia phone, it has USB connection just for power, not for data. What a shame. What a shame, what a shame. When I bought this, I was trying this and I was expecting that it should work through that, but it's different kind of USB port. I was then asking, even asking on my internet and provider if they had this where I bought this phone, if it works, some kind of cables, but they say no, technical support and this. That was long ago, but I just remember now when I was talking about this now. So much about that. I can make a conclusion for now. What is your kind of God, or Buddha, or Bodhisattva, or Shiva, or Brahma, or whatever, or even, I won't say that one, and they can get mad. I know. I won't even mention that religion. They are not all bad, but they are not bad, but there are some extremists, so I won't say which one. If I even mention, not even mention generally, but even just for somebody, so I'm gonna shut up about that one. Well, actually I told a lot right now, just I didn't name it. So what is your kind of God or Buddha, Bodhisattva, demon or what? Bitch, because you behave like that and have attitude like that, and trying to blind people like that with your blind, brainwashed, super demented brains. Well, I actually got to maybe cut off some of this out. I can do it. Maybe one word or two. If I'm gonna publish this, there are some policies what you can say, not insulting, and this, for example, on YouTube. Even I'm not mentioning a particular person, but it doesn't matter. I just cut off for YouTube that. So there will be, or I will say, but, or I can put a mark explicit content here. Yeah, maybe this. So they will decide if they're gonna listen and they not, and not for children. Okay, I'll use that one, second one, probably. So I'm not gonna break any YouTube policies if I'm gonna publish this. What I'm speaking now. Well, I wasn't saying particularly bad things. They use worse, but I'm pretty shy in that on YouTube. Not in life when I'm speaking. That's enough for now. Just to remember some facts from my past, pretty long ago. That would be many years ago. They put me that happened in that time. They put me in that house. Supposedly that I was attacking somebody. I already published some video on YouTube about that, and it was false accusation, and they didn't prove it and nothing. They didn't even put on process about that, but they claimed that I did it, and they keep me for that, like years and years, as I would kill somebody, supposedly. I'm so dangerous and so on, and they tried, and they actually were trying to persuade me in some of their explanations, and because I didn't accept that, they keep on prolonging and so on, and then later put me in some well, actually I choose to go there, but just because they put me on choice if I'm gonna stay there or go over there, and it was a little more free, so I choose there. So altogether was about 10 years for nothing, innocent. And for example, I can tell one thing what happened there in that first institution, that house. For example, some technical personality, I don't know, remember the name, but he was like there and talking. Well, if I translate in English, I was walking in circles and this, because I was actually walking in circles when I come for some time in my own country, in city where I am from, and I was in some public park with my luggage, and I have to keep eye on my luggage to see where is my luggage, because somebody could steal my luggage. That's why I was walking around in circles in that park. And this is just example how they try to fake the facts. That wasn't said directly to me, but like it was like conversation, so I could hear it, and it was intentionally made like I could hear it. There's just one part, and that even wouldn't be so bad if that wasn't like official persons, so-called humanists who are helping people, supposedly to help people, and they are trying to everything fake, like this. Well, that's exact example of this. It's the fact. Like it's the fact that they put me there and not prove nothing and keep me 10 years for nothing, even if it was some kind of attack, it wouldn't be possible to keep you so long for some reason which wasn't really big or something. And in that example, yes, I strike lightly that woman, but she struck me first, and it was on public, in public bus, and it was on public bus. Everybody have seen that, even if there's some witnesses maybe reported differently, it doesn't count because it wasn't like that, and beside that it wasn't go on process. Why? And there were camera on that bus. It happened that in London years ago. It happened in London years ago, and on the bus were cameras. So why didn't even bother to look that? Because I was sure that that wasn't cameras, and there was no process and nothing before the court. So much about this now. They're using other things too. For example, maybe I already told that in that video I was first time published on YouTube, but they used like that psychiatrist in London. Yeah, you were homeless there, so there homeless people are like drinking alcohol and such things. And I said, well, I'm not drinking alcohol neither, and such things. And she just said, we'll see. Like that sounds to me like I am supposed to prove that I'm supposed to prove something they even don't know that I didn't do or something. So much about that. I'm talking about this because I will never forget it. They took 10 years from me. I got problems in real life too. But I got problems because of false accusation like that even more. And I was told I was suffering because of that even more. So that's it about. And I will never forget. And I will never forget that I can expect from somebody like that something like that again. More about these things from supposedly what some, for me, I will not mention what guys and etc. and ladies, mistresses, misters, females and masculines, etc. I'm making fun. That I'm like mad, supposedly, to repeat, and for others, old. Well, I'm older. I never said that I'm young. Is that it? Yes. That was some just introduction. One more thing, generally, not particularly in that case, which it touches my case, my life personally, directly, but generally speaking, I think that some psychologists and this don't have a clue what is going around in the world, and they don't know the modern culture and what it means and something, and that everything is just mad or childish game or something. Shortly, that's enough for now. Just idea for a song, some fictional lyrics, for example. It starts like get away, robot brainwasher, you were hired by them, and so on and so on and so on. I will use that. Maybe I will just upload this and never use it. Who knows? It's mine. Another fictional idea. So what was that heart attack story about? End of the story. Another fictional story. I was using that on you, my friends, back to you, and back on my unfriends. Funny example of using the word. Not so much funny that I should laugh for you, but it's something. And another fictional story. I got so many ideas, fictional. You will not brainwash me, even if you tried. Unknown brainwasher. You tried so much, you didn't succeed it, and I will keep on going that you will not succeed. Brainwashers. So what is next? It's just hypothesis, not a fact and claim. If something happens or I'm falsely charged or something, they will use my fictional stories like a proof that I'm mad or that I live in fantasy or something. Is that next? And they will not allow me maybe to represent myself on the court because I will probably too much mad or in fantasy or in fictional world or unable or something. Is that next? That's just hypothesis. What could happen on the base of what already happened. By the way, that time which I was falsely accused, I didn't went on court. They didn't let me on court. They just made some lawyer to talk about me, and the lawyer, it was so female, just put something on paper for my protection. It's supposedly to be everything okay, but just one sentence note, and that was showing me after they already sent there and didn't ask me to sign that with my sign. There's no signature, my signature on that, by the way, and so on. I guess I'm more dangerous just by speaking about that to them than anything else, because if I would do something, they could simply accuse me of something like dangerous and something like that, but I'm not doing that. So that's just my hypothesis, just my thinking. I didn't make any claim. They got many hypotheses and trying that hypothesis on people and claiming like it's the truth, and even it's going through the court like it's the truth, even it's not scientifically or otherwise proved, and that's not hypothesis anymore. By the way, another topic would be my own psychological analysis of myself. I don't deny any psychological things which are real, but by the way, they didn't invent these people. That's long ago, and it has thousands of years roots in yoga and everything, and other knowledgeable basis. Sorry because I'm choosing the words so slowly, because I'm just trying to find some words appropriate, improvising this in the moment. So I can continue on the last one. My own psychological analysis of myself would be that I'm sometimes even met, well, in apostrophe met, not really met, just pissed off, as we say, people who use English language. I'm using English language and Slovenian language, by the way, both. Whatever I want in the time. So let me go back on topic. My own psychology would be for myself that I'm just repeating, so we can follow. Could be that I'm getting angry or pissed off about the facts and people which I was with, just because I was there forced to be, which because they are not, for example, themselves so much guilty for that being there, but I was forced to be there. That's my own psychology. I didn't show that in that time to them, just in my memory. I don't like them at all, because I was forced to be there, and I didn't choose them for company, and I was forced to behave appropriate to their rules, and I don't like that, because I want to be free, even pissed off and angry or something. I don't want no control. Another thing I just remember would be good to mention is that right now in Barcelona I was kind of forced to with luggage around too, and I was watching pretty awake and etc. But in just 15 seconds, when I wasn't attentive and I was forced to do something, but I was having my luggage in mind, somebody stole one big piece of my luggage with my clothes were inside, dress, trousers and shorts, etc, etc, plus pocket studio recording with guitar effects included, and a little drum machine inside its pocket, small. Well, that was probably the most expensive thing in that luggage, my luggage piece. There are some other things too, like strings for guitar, and my notes in notebooks about lessons I was taking from YouTube lessons about 3D and about maybe music production and such things, and other things included inside. So so what is about that? So, walking around the circles when you have luggage to this? Should I just sit, or for example, all day and not even move because I have luggage, and be forced to be on the spot, and then they would simply pick me and said, yeah, he was sick and something. That's just hypothetically. No, so much about that. Some fictional story again. Well, you blind crows want to make me blind? You will not. Well, you, blind, white man. It's not about racial. I'm white man too, by just mentioned. So you, so you think we are met people, and so on. You, fictional man from fictional planet. You, who never existed. And of course, well, yeah, fictional stories. That's just for fun and children. And this, we must not change reality for fiction. Of course, even symbolically, not even that. You fictional man. Well, fictional diagnosis of some fictional man from some fictional planet would hypothetically maybe one of options be then I get him mad and having revenge because of that. For example, my inabilities or something. Well, I could say a lot of things. It's just a start. Another fictional story, parody this time, would be, maybe it was parody, a little bit of parody before too, but this is even more parody, how would I say, parodically. I'm not natural English speaker. It's my second language. That fictional story would be hypothetically parody. We will take care of you, we'll prescribe you this and this, we will make available this and this, we will maybe be paid for that a lot, but we will take of you even if you don't need us, but we want to force you to need us. And my answer would be, I need other things, and I'm getting these things where I want, not from you. It's a fictional story. Don't take it seriously. That's some thinking for other examples and influences, and making out of this some fictional story and answer. For example, what was that story about brother in this particular case? I will not exactly put this case out here because it's my personal thing, but just something what has to do this with particular this what I'm speaking right now, for example, about these things which doesn't have any glue to some, supposedly you mentioned that brother in apostrophe, as you call it. Well, we have some connection with this supposedly brother and others, but not with these things, and not with many things other. So why are you always trying to push that in? Is that brainwashing again? Just another fiction story, huh? Yeah, I just thinking about these things. I was talking and such things. I just remember some advisors who exist on this planet about such and such things like this, even psychological advice. Forget this, don't think about this, don't mention it, forget it, we'll get you. That's parody, and maybe not parody for some blind, but all is fiction. How complicated. Something else which would be appropriate at this moment when I was speaking about all these things would be, I have right for my opinion, for my point of view, and my fictional stories, fantasies, and creations, which are maybe touching reality more or less, but that's the nature of art, even if it's hobby art. I'm not professional artist. I'm sorry, because I'm not professional artist and earning millions, that I would justify that. Somebody would say now you know who I am publicly. So who would that be, me or somebody else? Who's speaking? Fictional person? Some completely other story would be some person has given me a lot in the past, but he has taken away a lot too, and he was trying to cheating me too, psychologically. That's what I'm talking about. That even psychologists should know that people are playing some games, and why is that horoscope, etc. Even I don't believe in horoscope at all. Literally, there are some symbolic features into it. So much about that shortly. One more thing, I got a lot of fictional and non-fictional stories to tell, and I was already telling to myself like a monologue wherever I am walking on the street or something. I'm using my brains. Is that going wrong with somebody's opinion and view on the freedoms in the world? Just asking.